Okay, we're back. God, are we ever back? Hello, my name's Thew. I'm your internet pal who talks about robots and things. You know the one. Hi. And I'm going to tell you about a little thing I did last weekend, which was TFNation 2022. And God, it feels good to say that. So I'm going to attempt to recount my experience and try and convey some of the absolute unbridled joy that took place over those few days in Birmingham. Can't promise I'll remember everything, can't promise I'll convey the emotion properly. I'm gonna try, at least, to let you know how special this was, and obviously I'm gonna have to show you some toys as well, so shall we wrap this up? So yes, been a couple of years since we did a big proper TFNation. 2019 was, of course, the last in-person one before the whole sort of lockdown situation kicked off. So it's been a long time coming. There's been a lot of sort of social frustration for a lot of us because I don't think I can properly convey how at home I feel in that building during that special weekend. Because, you know, I think it's the same for a lot of us. Like, a lot of us feel like sort of outsiders or not quite settled in a lot of situations. But TFNation, for me, is where I truly belong. And it's such a rare feeling. And like, I know it's kind of a luxury, it's a big expensive weekend away, but like, not being able to do it for the last couple of years hasn't felt great. You know, the big broadcast is fun and everything, and we try and keep in touch online and everything, and it's not to diminish the work that the TFNation gang do. The big broadcast was great, but there simply is nothing like being present. Being with everyone that I've sort of come to know through this hobby, and folks who just watch the channel and want to say hi, you know, there's a real sense of community and sort of almost family, because we have this one hyper-specific shared interest. It sort of allows us to understand each other a little bit, I think. And that has never felt more true than at this TFNation just gone. So I don't know where to begin talking about this really. I've got the schedule open here. I'm going to see how much of it I can remember. So I took the train to Birmingham Friday morning, and immediately getting in, it was already weird. Because between the railway station, Birmingham International, and the hotel, the Metropole, there's like a little bit of a walk, and immediately there's a new hotel in the way. Like, there's a whole other building between, like, in the 2-minute walk, they've built another hotel in the interim period between the last one and now, which kind of really brought it home. It's like, God, it has been a minute. So I'm just strolling in with my suitcase, and immediately the first person I see is Chris McFeely. Before I even got in the building, he was just rolling up with Jeff. I'm like, way, we said hello and everything. And we stroll in to sort of get registered and everything. And I'm queuing up, and I'm looking around, and I'm like, wasn't I here a fortnight ago? Just kind of being in that building with the specific decor and the carpets and the type of doors they have and like the big square chandeliers. The situational memory sort of came back very quickly, like, because obviously we felt that period between now and the last one. It was like 3 years, and just seeing like a few faces out of the familiar crowd really just brought it back. Like, the vibe got going very quickly. It's like, oh yeah, this is what we're doing, this is how this feels. God, I don't want to start like naming folks and being like, oh, and then I saw this guy and because I'll forget someone. I don't want to exclude anybody, but I saw a lot of folks. All right, I caught up with a lot of people. It was just really special to be among friends again, you know? The folks that I've got to know through this hobby. It was just lovely. Just lovely. Panels and that on the Friday. Right, the first one I caught was the Titans of Old, the history of mecha anime with Ari. Big AB Silvera giving it the rundown of mecha anime throughout, like from the 60s up to the modern day and how everything influences everything else. And it was really interesting, and I kind of started to give a crap about anime, which is unprecedented. Talking about like Mazinger and Astro Boy, and moving on through like the kind of characters and like designers and writers who worked on like subsequent series and how everything evolved, because obviously it all ties in with Transformers. And then you've got like SSSS Gridman, which is like Transformers but people. I don't know, it's kind of a fascinating web that Ari weaved, and like, it was a really slick presentation, and it was pretty funny too. So it was just nice to see somebody completely in their element, commanding the room, and everyone was like, oh yes, that's really interesting, mate, blah, blah, blah. It's great. Good start. Good gentle start. Caught a bit of Matt Ferguson very briefly. That's the fellow who designed this, actually. The whole Zavi DVD artwork and everything, and those shoes, those cool ass shoes with like the Transformers the movie opening tunnel shot. I had mine on most of the weekend, apart from when I met Matt on Sunday, because I was gonna say hi to Matt and be like, hey, I'm wearing your shoes, but I wasn't. when I saw him. I changed into my flip-flops because it was so hot. I don't think he cared. Anyway, it was good. Missed that. Yeah, I missed almost everything on the Friday. I caught Ari, 5 minutes of Matt Ferguson, and then I did the quiz later on, which was Chris McFeely on the old Matrix test, but it had kind of a new format. It was a bit more game showy, a bit more House of Games, a bit more BBC Two, and it was brilliant. Just kind of like flexing your knowledge a little bit, getting your brain out, seeing most of the room look at each other like, what the hell's going on? Our team did terrible. We came like right in the bottom middle, I think. We were dreadful. But the point is, it was a good giggle, and it was kind of inventive. It was different from last year, and Chris smashed it. And the rest of Friday was pretty much just chilling with folks and catching up and boozing. It was great. Lovely to see everybody. Saturday then, yes, the opening ceremony, I had a small part in that. Big Billy came up, Billy Stripes. He came up on stage and did quite a nice speech about how good it was to be back, how hard the team have been grafting to keep things moving behind the scenes. Because obviously, being an events company, the last couple of years has been shite for them because they haven't been able to do anything. So there's just a powerful sense of relief back in the room, and he said something which was cheesy as hell, but it kind of hit home. He's like, welcome to TFNation. Welcome to the biggest Transformers convention in Europe. Welcome home. And I'm like, that's naff, but I am crying. Big shout out to Chris Carter as well for throwing together the opening video. Crushed it. It was way too loud, but it was great. It was just a big sort of like an anime AMV of bits of Transformers from all eras set to Stan Bush to touch, obviously. And it was just very well constructed and very full of love. I'm just like, I hate that I'm getting chills from this. A couple of times, like legit chills. And also, Dave Wallace got me to contribute to the health and safety thing. Like, I'm pretty sure there's a legal obligation for them to do fire exit over here in case of emergency, walk don't run, go here if you get injured, first aid is available if you get lost, blah 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 blah, all kinds of things they have to lay out like legally. So they made it a bit fun. They had sound barrier do the announcements animated style, and there was a bit where he starts falling through the multiverse, oh no. So he showed up on like the basics, and then there was a bit with me, which I was mostly just happy to be involved, but I did naff it up a little bit. I put in the same line twice. I'm like, the thing about this is I don't know what it wants from me, so I don't know what it wants from me. Rats. Because when I filmed it, I was kind of improvising that, so I filmed it like 10 times, and then in editing, just accidentally put in the same line twice. Whoops. I don't think anybody minded, but I did, and sorry. So the thing about sound barrier is, I'm not sure what it wants from me. Like, who even is that? Literally just a kind of okay sculpted, nominally articulated, generic, hapless chump of a thing, transformed by falling over into a table mat? I just don't know what it wants from me. So it's a good job. He's so deliciously handsome. And then the dealer hall opened, so nothing else mattered for a bit. Because I never go in with a shopping list. Like, there's always a couple of things I'd like to get, but I never go in with a firm plan. There were 2 items I didn't want to leave without. That was Road Rocket and Blitzwing. I got them both within seconds. So I just kind of rocked in there with Nathan and just went ballistic, basically. My card wasn't working for a minute when I was trying to buy Blitzwing, so I had a little audience sort of form and watch me fail to remember my PIN for a minute or two. Great stuff, yeah, love that. But like the Saturday's always way busier and everybody wants to sort of get in the trader hall, so that's when I started bumping into people for real. Catching up with like the InGen gang, Brad and Brian and Johnny and everybody. And the Forge was lovely. There was loads of really interesting, unusual stuff going on there. Brilliant artwork. Lots of like soft furnishings and clothing and stuff. Always love to see the creativity and the sort of hustle going on in the Forge. Absolutely love it. Yes, 1 o'clock there was a thing with Andy Cousins, who was in charge of the Transformers brand in the UK during the period when like the Predators and the Turbo Masters came out. So I actually had a quick chat with him about just how cool the sort of era was. Because he said he was trying to pull it back from like the Action Masters because it had gone way too simple for his liking, because he's a design guy. He's a toy innovator. He comes from like aerospace, so he's like very mechanically minded, but also a really good illustrator as well. So he was very much with the mindset that he had to make it cool again. So he's working with the Japanese team who got like the basics down, like the transformation and the hard copy and everything. And he was the guy who sort of upped the detail factor and sort of refined the designs on like Stalker and Rotor Storm and all these like late G1 icons. So I was just like full of praise for this man. I really meant to go back and grab some of his prints because he had like all the sketches for like the Predators and like the Aqua Speeders and a bunch of Micro Machines and Action Man stuff as well. And it's all like so beautifully like technical and expressive. So I really meant to pick up some of that stuff, but I forgot because I'm a jackass. Maybe I'll find an email for him or something, I don't know. But like in his panel, he was saying that he actually had very little control over what got released. Because of course, like the main things you want to know are, why did the motivators come out but not the kibble? Why did only certain bits of Lyo Kaiser get imported? And the answer was always just money. Like, they were working with like very slashed budgets and of course tooling and everything, and the manufacturing process is so expensive that they just couldn't do it, and that was kind of it. So everyone's like, excuse me, why did Devastator get re-released but without the stuff? And he's like, money. And that's it. It's just, that's the beginning and end of it. Which isn't a surprise, really, but it's like, you'd like to think there'd be more to it than that. But it's just money. Oh, commerce. But it was really nice to sort of get his vague perspective and sort of see his contribution. And his reaction to the con as well was brilliant. Here's me and Bry like, oh, you're a king. And he's like, really? All right then. Got so much other stuff kicking off that I just completely missed. Triple Takeover. Missed that. Lindsay Russo, didn't speak to her. You got all the IDW gang. I'm kind of on like nodding terms with Nick Roach. I missed his thing completely. But yes, the evening Club Con, that was the main event. Jim Sorensen, legend, had somehow come into possession of one of the early drafts from Transformers the movie from like 1984. So way before things sort of settled into the film we eventually got. This was like a very early draft. I think it was what's his name? Ron Friedman, was it? Yes, Ron Friedman had put together a treatment, not like a script, but a treatment for a script, which was like still pretty huge, pretty substantial document. So they had like this huge presentation that he and Chris McFeely had put together, big 3-part thing about sort of the differences and the early drafts and how the characters were different and the events that played out in the movie, like the original draft of that. It was quite different. They got the team to do these wonderful sort of mock-ups of the characters, like early drafts of like what Wreck-Gar looked like, which we'll get to. Early draft of Ultra Magnus. Perfect interpretation. It was the Orion Pax design, because that was originally supposed to be Ultra Magnus, but they repurposed it later on. So they'd done it in Powered Convoy colors, because that also was the toy that was become Ultra. You nerds. You nerds! God, I can't remember all of it. I was getting slowly sloshed on smuggled rum. But the main thing I remember was Optimus Prime's entrance into the Battle of Autobot City, because of course he comes in on a shuttle and there's the Dinobots. Megatron must be stopped. You got the touch. You know the one, the classic moment. The original idea for that was for them to come in on a train, like a classic vintage steam train, which would then transform into like a super laser bullet train. Boom! And then when they arrive into the battle, all the Autobots jump off and they start kicking ass, and then the train transforms again into a massive snake. God, and the artwork, everybody cheered for it. Like when they threw up this still for that, everyone was like, oh, because it's so badass, man. The artwork was so good and so sort of era specific. They got the lighting right and the aesthetic, it was perfect. I think they even lifted some backdrops from the movie itself, so it looked more sort of convincing. God, it's so good, honestly. Christ, then what happened? Cybertron was destroyed. Unicron was just like the entity. All the Decepticons became under its thrall. The Autobots used cardboard cutouts to like have a decoy battle and get away. It was very, very daft, very silly ideas. There was a lot of kind of sexist back and forth between Wheeljack and RC, which kind of became like a romance thing, but it's all very, oh, the wife sort of attitude. Uncomfortable level of Nazi stuff in there as well. I suppose it's like a byproduct of the Indiana Jones era and the Nazis being such ubiquitous movie baddies in that sort of period of cinema. But like the sweeps, they were like an SS Gestapo squad, and Wreck-Gar had like a Nazi helmet on. It was all a bit, it wouldn't have flown today. Just wild, man. Absolutely wild to see this alternate universe parallel version of what this movie could have been. Because the bones of it were there. There was still like Hot Rod becoming Rodimus Prime and the blah 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 blah. I remember Magnus got killed. Galvatron was there, just described as like a bigger, scarier Megatron. Cup was a different guy altogether. He was called Tanker. and he transformed into like a World War II tank, and he was like really... I'm not sure where that design came from. There was another panel about it on Sunday, but I missed it. So I'm not sure if the design they used was actually from Flora Deary, or it was an interpretation of the notes that like one of the TFN gang had done. I'm not sure about that. But Tanker looked pretty sick. I would not trade the movie we got for the world because, you know, represent. But that also would have been a trip to watch. And I feel like I did watch it. I feel like I've kind of seen that movie. Like, short of actually producing an animated feature film, I think that was probably the best way to present this information as a sort of walkthrough / visual sort of presentation on the go. I don't know, it was pretty good. It was pretty good. I was delighted to have been there for it. Everybody was stoked. Everybody was cheering and whooping for it. Gotta say, big ups, Jim Sorensen and Chris McFeely. Always the heart of the convention for me. Those two guys with their knowledge, with their digging abilities. Absolutely killer stuff. Then what happened? Oh yeah, Gary Chalk got up. And he did an acoustic set. That was kind of fun. Just very relaxed. Just one man on a stool with a guitar playing some like blues and rock and roll standards. Kind of nice. Just a very nice wind down after the movie excitement and that. And then right after that, Charlie says to us, "Do you want to go and get smashed by the lake?" I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "Right, rally the troops. I'll grab the rum." And that's another thing, actually. I've got to say a huge thank you to everybody for being so like welcoming of my partner Charlie, who I brought with me for the first time, because we've been dating for like a year, but we've been mates since we were teenagers. So she's kind of been following the channel and that, and she's kind of aware of TFNation. She's not asked about Transformers at all, but I talk about TFNation a lot because it's where all my friends are. So she's like, "Of course I'm coming along, you better believe it." But I know she was worried that not only that she wouldn't be interested, but also that everybody would be pricks, because it could have happened, you know, from an outsider's perspective. What if they're all wankers? And I'm telling her, don't worry about it, they're all lovely. She's like, you know, from your perspective, they all think you're a rock star. I'm putting words in her mouth, she didn't say any of this. This is my insecurity. I'm thinking, what if she thinks I'm shallow? I go in there, I already know everybody, they treat me like I'm a king, so what if she thinks I'm shallow? What if I'm existing on validation here? So she's nervous, I'm apprehensive, but she had a really good time in the end. Because everyone's so lovely. Everyone's so nice and genuine and welcoming and accepting. I gotta say, huge shout outs to everyone for making my partner so welcome. And everybody who showed up to the lakeside hangout at midnight. That was her idea. Full credit. So yeah, that was the rest of Saturday. We caught up with some folks in the bar later on and said hi and had some very drunken hugs and further drinks and so on, and got to bed about 4, I think. So Sunday was a write-off. Very wibbly on the Sunday. But I kind of bounced back about 12, I think, kind of rehabilitated by the vibe. Yeah, we just took it real nice and easy on the Sunday. Missed almost everything, and then just sat around gabbing about music with people, very gently checking out some bots. Did another lap of the dealer room, took some photos with some folks, and wobbled off about 3 o'clock. Didn't really want to leave, but like the trains were all screwed up. We kind of had to get back for Monday. Didn't want to do too many nights. I don't want to wear myself out on TFNation. So I had a solid 48 hours of gorgeous, wonderful times. I don't regret a second of it. I'm very happy with the experience I had. So good to see everybody. Gorgeous, immaculate vibes. Didn't get to say hello to everybody I wanted to. Severely didn't get to say goodbye to everybody I wanted to. There just isn't enough time to catch everybody, right? Because it's once a year. It's been 3 years. So, like, I could have sat around for another couple of days catching up with people. There's like dozens of folks that I could very easily have long, in-depth, meaningful, deep and meaningful heart-to-heart conversations with, but there simply isn't time. And to try and do all that socializing all at once, it does wear you out. Like my pal Matt, who I catch up with every year at TFNation, we don't really communicate outside of TFNation, but I always end up chilling with this guy. So I finally added him on Facebook this year. We finally got there. But yeah, on the Saturday, I just kind of looked at him at 3 o'clock like, "Are you knackered?" And he's like, yeah. Because it's not like it's intense activity. You're just kind of wobbling around, talking to people, looking at robots, going, "Oh, that's nice, isn't it?" But it does kind of wear you out. You're operating at such a high level of enthusiasm that it is tiring just being there. So if I had done another day and a half, that would have knocked me out for a week. I mean, it already knocked me out for like 5 days. And I know McFeely was very worse for wear afterwards, but he put so much effort in. Like, I didn't even do a panel. That guy had like 3 things every day, and also getting recognized off YouTube and that. So that guy mustn't have had a minute to himself, but I still had a pretty full-on one. And it was an absolute blast, kind of seeing it through the eyes of my partner as like a fresh outsider non-attendee, just kind of getting her take on things and seeing it through her eyes was totally a trip. So everybody who stopped and said hello, I want to say love you very much. Everybody who didn't stop and say hello, I get it. We can do it again next year and move forward into a new age of peace and happiness. Huge, undying respect to the TFNation team for putting this on and putting so much of themselves into it. So off the top of my head, Billy, Dave, Trina, the Mapeses, the Piries, Tori, Dave, Gary, tall fellow with the fro, never caught his name. He's always there, always so lovely. Nick, Hardy, and everybody else who contributed and made it happen and made it such a joy and such an effortless experience for me and the 1,000 other chumps who showed up. I'm sure I can speak for everybody confidently when I say thank you, TFNation. Please don't stop. Please, can we do it again, please? Maybe I'll do the Manchester one. Is it in March or something? Maybe you'll see me there. I don't know. Almost certainly. Any excuse to go to Manchester. Love it. And that, I think, is pretty much everything. Shall we get the toys out? Okay, not as much as previous years, but still a hefty bag here. Large Toys R Us bag, courtesy of Sven over at Geekology. Thank you, mate. We've already started. So the first thing I was given at TFNation this year, unbelievable. Was it Legends? Senator Ratbat? Absolute stunner. This was the Generation Scourge mold, repainted as Ratbat from Megatron Origin, I think. Full-size deluxe scale Senator Ratbat. That was from Andy Ashpolt, who is a lovely chap who I love endlessly. He bought this off someone online who was selling it. He's like, I'll take it. And then a second later, I'm like, I want it. Oh, crap. He's decided he's had his fun with it and gave it to good old me. What a legend. Absolutely no need for that, but I'm massively grateful. Thank you, Andy. I think this is most of the day one stuff. So this was a Scottish fella, Steve, I think it was, handed me this one. Hearts of Steel Evolutions TPB, don't you know? Wonderful underserved mini-series this was. They only did the one. I kind of wish they'd done more of these, but that is a gorgeous cover. It's not the same as the one I used to have. I think I had another one of these in the interim, but I'm looking at my bookcase and it ain't there. So we have it again. Thank you, mate. Very thoughtful. Oh yes, these were from Nick Snowden over at Phantasmic Toys. Is it still that? I'm not sure. But Nick Snowden hooked me up with the translucent blue warrior alien. I've never seen this deco in the person, but it looks like, yeah, 95, 96. This is of the era. I remember having the black version of this. It came with a Predator in a 2-pack, but I've never seen the blue one in the flesh, and it's kind of a trip. So thank you very much for that, Nate. On the subject of Nick, actually, he had some incredibly rare stuff. He had the prototype, the resin hard copy of Classics Rodimus, which he let me handle and have a look at, as well as a Transformers animated, let me get this right, Activator electromagnetic sound wave, the white one with lime green and a bit of purple. It's a very good looking thing, but it was cancelled, so I think there's only 4 or 5 of them in the world, and he had one. And then the next day, somebody bought it, and they came and showed me, and I'm like, oh yeah, I saw this yesterday. I love the amount of folks who want to show me what they've got. They're like, Thew, check it out, check it out. It's just, I love it, it's infectious. Let's just do this bag of paperwork real quick. This was from Nick as well, very nice framed. This was the Waddington's card game, which I thought was rare. I got one a few years ago, and I'm like, whoa, that's rare. But it turns out they're freaking everywhere. They're a dime a dozen, these things. So Nick's kind of upscaled them into a nice artwork frame. He was selling these on his store, but he's like, you know what? This one's on the house. That was very thoughtful of him. Thank you so much, Nick. Nick always hooks me up with something, and I gotta say, we appreciate it. Bit of artwork here from Jack. I'm pretty sure it's Jack. This was the kid who a couple of years ago got his phone signed by Bob Budiansky, but he showed up again this year, and he's grown 1.5 foot, and he's gone full emo. So we have Skids and I think Crosscut or Burnout. 2 Skids body types in silhouette, black with the old Autobot symbol. Very heavy stuff. Love it, mate. A Along with the Decepticon Road Gang, we got the Stunticons, Scourge, diddly-doo, Knockout, Runabout and Runamuck, and I want to say, oh, Barricade. It's Barricade. Cool. Yeah, why not, eh? And a list of band recommendations. I might skip Black Veil Brides, but we'll see what else we got. In this moment, yeah, they're alright. Ghost. I have a weird time with Ghost. I'm sure they're fun live. I just don't like any of their songs. And this one, Palais Royale. I'll give them a go. See how we feel. Cheers, Jack. Nice kid. Oh, yeah. Cheeky drawing of me from Sammy. This is me at Bloodstock. Morbid Angel shirt. I actually own all of these clothes. Those are my old Vans. Yeah, this was from Sammy, Skullgrin 140. Good to see you, mate. Thank you. I don't recall exactly who gave me this. Little comic book with Wheelie. Nice to see the old GDO model of Wheelie getting some use, though. Oh, Wadapan. Yeah. Wadapan. Must give a shout out to Toys R Us, who I bumped into, who was convinced that I'd come from America. He's like, wow, I can't believe you flew over all the way here for this and for TFUK Con. That's amazing, that's dedication. I truly hated to tell him I'd come from Derby. I got there in 1 hour. Nice to see you, Russ. Love you, dude. A couple of postcards from Dom. This is Dom Salvia, who did the Dream Daddy one in previous years. This is amazing. Hatoful Boyfriend? Do you remember that? The pigeon dating sim? But we got Silverbolt, Pterosaur, Laserbeak, Skylynx, and Air Razor. Oh, Hatoful Bot Friend. Oh my gosh, I just got that. That's Dom Salvia. A lot of time for Big Dom. Stickers here, we have Cosmos. A couple of action-packed Cosmos crotch shots. And Bumblebee doing the Nene, I think. These were from Hannah Halley, but they were drawn by Chromatroid, pretty sure. I think that's right. Thanks, gang. Sakura. Yes, somebody gave me a big box of Japanese snacks. Didn't catch who that was, but very kind of you, thank you. I should be grazing on those all next week. Sakurako. I don't think they were a representative, but that's what happened. Oh yeah. Nick also gave me a little Greg Universe to go with my toe line. When was that? 2016 I did that video? How do you guys remember this stuff? I can barely keep track of what I'm doing week to week. I suppose rewatch value is a thing. What else we got? Yes, this was one of my purchases I simply had to make on the day. I didn't want to leave the room without Road Rocket. So we have it. I've got one racer out of the Speedier gang so far. Hauler, Cosmos, and Road Rocket. So just her and the staff. £30 though. Ow! Bit of a markup, but you know, the heat of the day does get to you. You kind of acquiesce to the vibe, don't you? I'm not mad. I was having a brilliant day. I spent an extra £3. Oh no. But that was from In Demand, where I also got Combiner Wars Rekgar. I wanted to grab this if I found one so that I could do a big Rekgar video. I got Junk Heap the other day, Studio Junk Heap. I got Rekgar, so that's like the last one that I didn't have. So I may as well, right? Probably not a healthy attitude to have, the may as well make this extra £10 purchase. But I could use it for the channel, it's something, right? I gotta do it, it's procurement. It's official procurement, so I can now make a big Rekgar video. I was thinking about doing a big motorbikes vid that I've talked about it before, but I think it would just be impractically huge. So Rekgar, we got Road Rocket, I got Prowl somewhere. We'll piecemeal it. Eventually, I have to start making some of these reviews I keep talking about. So Road Rocket, Rekgar, and my third in-demand purchase was this bloody thing. These have been floating around the internet for a bit. I think they're from, I think they're an offshoot of Machine Robo. It's called Unit Roborn. And it's just two unrelated items that combine into like a robot creature. So Steam Train, Rhinoceros Beetle, you bang that on there, it flips open, and it transforms into like a cryptid. Incredible, look at this. So Unit Roborn, Steam Train Beetle creature, just like a long, horrible Godzilla dragon thing with like a disco mouth. What are these? Little readouts, little theater lights? I don't know, it's banging though, look at this thing. But yeah, these were kind of a hit, I think. A bunch of people had them. There was like a dog that combined with a bar of soap or something and it turned into a pterodactyl. A Christmas tree that combines with a taxi and then it's a dinosaur. There was a lobster with a tomato and that was a robot. Truly bizarre. Unhinged. The least hinged thing I've ever seen. Stunning. So I was really happy that In Demand Toys had a bunch of these in 25 quid. Kind of a lot, but where else are you gonna get them? The ultimate impulse purchase of the weekend, and I don't regret it for a second. Unit Roborn. I'm at the combination Pizza Hut and Taco Bell. Big pen, pineapple, apple pen energy. Legacy Blitzwing Zoohauser, baby. Hell yes. Got this from Sven at Geekology. Haven't opened it just yet, but I am delighted to have got this for 50 quid. Which is really good, actually. So you know what? Road Rocket, Blitzwing, it balanced out. I know it has its problems. I know the jet mode has big, clumsy underwing kibble. I know the tank has a penis, but it's freaking Blitzwing, man. I can't not do Blitzwing. The robot mode looks spectacular, and it's got the sword, and I'm just happy to have it, because I haven't seen this in stores. So, shut up. This was kind of my big purchase. 50 quid, I didn't get any Titans, didn't get any Combiners, just went in on a leader class one. Happy with that. Stunning, delightful, delighted. This was another big part of the day one haul. This is a couple of things that I'd sort of pre-bought from a lad, Handbidge. Transformers animated Rodimus Miner. Delighted to have grabbed that. Where'd you go? Right there. There he is. I haven't tried to transform it yet. I'm aware it's kind of complex. I want some assistance on this, so I haven't had a go at transforming it yet. But the car mode is simply gorgeous. I don't know why I haven't really checked this out before. But at the time I was just not interested. I think it's because I had a Rodimus. I was still in that stage of collecting. Got one of him, I'm all right. Gorgeous. Blue crystal cockpit thing. Perfect. I gotta spend some time with this. I gotta figure it out. And on the other end, still brilliant, but I'm massively familiar. Earthrise Barricade. Hell yes. Something I never thought I'd get hold of, because it came in a 2-pack with Punch Counter Punch, and you know, it was one of those exclusive things, and it's just a pain, so I never thought I'd be able to get one. But it's a gorgeous thing. I don't know if I prefer it to the Siege one, because for me, like, the Siege mold was kind of shite, but it really worked for Barricade. But I wanted to get this one as well, because I quite like this mold. I know it's a little bit flimsy and fragile in places, but it's really good. So I just kind of wanted to have a standard Generations Earth mode Barricade. And this is the one. So thank you so much to Handbidge. So happy. This one, little bit special. This is mint on card, Reveal the Shield Retgar. I did used to have this, but I moved it on and regretted it because I was missing it for the Retgar collection. So this guy, wonderful stuff. Might do a Retgar video. It's on the cards. But the reason this is so special is because this is from Andy, who came over from the States for his first TFNation. Go Andy Robo. The loveliest man you've ever met in your life. I'm so delighted to have met him finally. So Andy, thank you so much for Retgar and for being a legend and for making mine and Charlie's weekend so much better. Gotta say, love this man. So I shall remember you, we shall go on. I only ever get cycles from, from Andy, because he did send me a package previously, and it had the Action Toys, the big Cykill. I'm sensing a theme, and also, I love Road Rocket, 2 Retgars. There's a whole bike vibe going on here, almost like a gang. Egg. This is an egg. A couple of lads came over in the dealer room on, I think, Saturday, and gave me an egg, and oh, it's a dinosaur. Oh, mate, that's sick, actually. Little purple raptory robo lad. So, thanks, mate. Nice to meet you, boys. Cheeky t-shirt. Yeah, this was from Lucan of Lucan's Tees. Nice to catch you again for a second, dude. Cheeky Jurassic Park mashup situation there. Dinobot Park. We've got Grimlock, we've got JP93, and a third lad based off the Binaltech Hound situation, I suppose. So Lucan was wearing this shirt when I bumped into him, and like, I know he designs shirts, so I'm like, hey, looking good, man. Oh, I like your shirt. He goes, yeah, I'll get you a freebie. I'm like, oh, no, there's really no need. I'm XL, but no, come back. Listen, I'm not above a freebie, alright? Please do check out this man on his tea store. He does good work, the designs are fun, and the t-shirts are nice quality as well. Guild and Heavy Cotton, hell yeah. Band merch standard. I'm so sweaty, I might have to change into this. Who gave, I think Chris gave me this, Chris Gaunt. It's a knockoff Masterpiece Sideswipe. That's as best as I could transform it. Really the floopiest bag of shit you've ever seen. Oh, some animal died. Thanks, Chris. Good to see ya. Titanium Skywarp. This Again, the toy is a byproduct of meeting, for the first time, Big Jim McCanny. Didn't get to spend a lot of time with Jim, but he seems like the nicest bloke you've ever met in your life. And he said to me in 2017 that he was going to send this over for an unboxing. And in the end, just handed it to us in person. Another Skywarp collection haul plugged. Another lovely soul to have met in person at long last. So good to meet you, John. I wish we could have hung out more. I really do. But it was a whirlwind, right? It was mayhem. You saw it. You were there. Hope you had a good time anyway. Titanium Skywarp. Beautiful. Oh, right, fistful of stickers. Got some logos. Those are from Ben's Collectibles. Oh, a coupon code for Shozy Store. TF Ben Shozy. Let's get Ben paid. Come on, lads. Check out Shozy. Pick up some cool stuff. Get a discount. Get our boy paid. And these were from Go Andy Robo. Plastic Love. I'm sure that was a thing on YouTube for a minute, right? RC in the old waitress uniform. Love that. Got the iconic Scooter paying up. Actually really happy to have an image of that, because this is something that Andy posts all the time. Whenever there's a new toy release, he's like, all right, here comes Scooter. Happy to have that in person. Mailbox Lass, GoBot. This is Andy's original creation. What's her name again? Something to do with mail. Stamps? Is it Stamps? Cute as a button. Anyway, love it. Kaplumbo. There it is. Just one more thing. This reminds me of that time on Beta Gamma Alpha 9. And just shiny iguanas. I don't know. It's iguanas, it's shiny, we vibe. Anyway, Ben Watson gave me the Refined Robot Co. Zine 2022. Let's have a look. Whole bunch of stuff in here, actually. Ooh, a whole prose story. The formatting from the Covenant of Primus. What's this? The Age of Wrath from the archives of Overrun. So this is Ben. This is Ben's fanzine fic. Is it? With special thanks to Gherkin. Spotted Gherkin for a second. Had a t-shirt with the lug nut. Just NU7, just nut. Didn't get a chance to say hi. Hi Gurg, miss you. We shall have a read of this in a bit. Very Apple of Eden vibes, very Assassin's Creed. Oh, 2020. Must have been cooking up for a little while then, okay. And we have, oh, it's another one of these. Right, it's a fold out. This looks like the work of, gosh. What's his name? Tractor Worship, Ambush Them, Lee. I may be wrong, but this looks like Lee's work. I can't say for sure. I can't find a signature anywhere. Wow, very cool. Sketches of Sunstreaker Sideswipe. Very sort of Linkin Park vibes here. Work in progress graffiti. I mean, I was going to contribute this year, but I had nothing to say, and I got lost in the nothingness inside of me. So what is this exactly? This looks like fan work profile sheets for Armada era stuff. Nate Hammond. Yeah, Lee's involved. I'd be surprised if that wasn't his work, but I don't know. Luffy, James, Brent, Wadapan, Brad, Gav, McFeely, Joe, Umar, everybody except me. I don't really do this kind of stuff. I'd love to be involved. I'd love to sort of pitch in, but I find myself out of my depth. I don't really do like fan works like this. I can't do fiction. I can only do sort of up-tempo non-fiction criticism. All I can do is say nice things about stuff and clatter words into each other. But yeah, we have bios for Last Night Barricade. Nate doing Barricade, James doing Cybershark. Oh, I said J Balvintron. Big Brent did contributed J Balvintron there. Armada Laserbeak from Radapan. Oh, Rad as in Rad wants to tell you about the trans. Alright, this is very nerdy. Weaknesses. Laserbeak is my precious child. He's totally perfect and I love him more than anything. That is fair. Mega Zarak by Bede. 6-0 talking about Cybertron Metroplex. FOMO. Big time FOMO on this. Mike's been on. Raiden. Repugnus. Gotta be Gav. Yep, it's Gav. That's what he looks like, alright. I'm a buff baby who can dance like a man. Let me in. Alright, I'm gonna have a more in-depth look at this. And next year I'm doing one. I'm getting in on this. Let me do Crankcase. But yes, that's the Refined Robot Co. I gotta start contributing more to actual TFNation stuff. All I do is show up and smile at people. That has historically been enough for me. But I would like to leave more of, I want my name in the credits, you know? I gotta raise my game, man. Was it Megan as well was giving out these tiny little embroidered ducks? I'm pretty sure it was Megan. Just handed me this after the quiz, like it's a little duck. It's the Beast Wars Megatron connection, right? 2 little ducks, embroidered, handmade, absolutely gorgeous. Oh god, also, is it Mateus from Maniaki Figurek from Poland? He gave me a little tiny 3D printed homemade overkill. The little cassette tape guy who turns into a dinosaur, made for the Siege Soundwave. So it's the same size as like Rumble and Ravage and Laserbeak, the ones that came with Siege Sound Blaster and that, you know, the ones, that size. But he did overkill. He home designed it and it was brilliant, but I don't have it with me. So please check out this kid on Instagram. He's got a nice aesthetic on the go. Very talented lad. Seen him at a bunch of conventions. He was at Rollout Roll Call when it was in London that year. He's always there with his big camera. So please do go and support this lad. Good to see you again, mate. Last couple of things. Now I've got some Energon cubes. One of the vendors was giving these away with any purchase. I spent 30 quid with him, so I got 3 cubes. Cool. Joey Crosshairs' business card. Postcard business card from Crosshairs Productions. Good lad. Bumped into him real quick. Oh, these are from Matt Ferguson. Right. Hotshot poster artist Matt Ferguson. He was giving away little business card size prints of some of his gorgeous artwork. Cybertron, Unicron, Optimus fighting Megatron. You know, the moment when he fires his cannon like that. I think this is off the DVD cover. And Hot Rod Fishing. Brilliant. These are from Chess and Claude. Wonderful folks. Love those guys so much. They were tabling together in the forge, selling stickers and prints and things. This one, I think, was inspired by me. A little tub of stars. Cream. Bizarre. Claude was saying that their partner, the first thing of mine that they watched was Transformers names pronounced correctly. That's where Stars Cream came from, and like Sky Wrap. And they were saying that since watching that, they can't look at me without laughing or something like that. Anyway, you'll remember Katamari Damacy. You'll remember RC's prototype colors. Katamari. You nerds. I love that so much. That is such a specific overlap. Claude gave me a little lilac Tamagotchi keyring with Skywarp on it. Brilliant. Precious, precious folks. This was from a lad called Andrew. Bit confusing, because his online tag is Virtual Dave, but his name's Andrew. But he got me to do a couple of stings for his podcast called My Optics. So he just had me say that into his phone a couple of times. I think he got like McFeely and Gary Chalk to do one as well. I'm gonna go and have a listen to them in a bit while I'm reading the Refined Robot Co. zine thing. I think that might be a nice evening. Might even have a glass of pop to go with it. Little badge from, this was from JNB. Just bought a pack of Pokemon Trainer badges and was handing them out. So I think that's the Electric Gym, right? I don't know. I enjoy Pokemon, but I don't know it very well. Like, I know the creatures, but I don't know the mythology. Anyway, thanks. Oh, speaking of Matt Ferguson, your man was there with the More Art Gallery gang, who I did that integration with. Kia was there, who's sort of my point of contact for them. I'm like, hi, yeah, great to meet you, yeah, great. Thoroughly lovely chap, but they had all their brilliant selection of Transformer prints up. They had this gorgeous one with Wheeljack that I was like, that is gorgeous, good work on that. And he goes, oh yeah, you can have one. I'm like, what, really? No, no, come back. That's very well wrapped. There's the JPEG. Wow, how pretty is that? They are really nice. But apparently, the Soundwave one was a hot seller because folks wanted to be like me. So thank you. Very flattering, very validating to know that people value my input and my opinions. So thank you. Okay, last few things now. We gotta wrap this up. I'm steaming in here. Thew, I picked up a couple of things. Apparently folks were like coming up and looking for specifically things that I'd shown off in that video that we did the other week. And honestly, kind of so was I. I was after Energon Ironhide. The second I saw it had come in, I was like, I gotta grab that. So here he is. I don't know if he's complete. He's got a gun, doesn't seem to have batteries, but that's okay. Big, clumsy, daft thing. I absolutely adore this. Look at these knees, come on. Literally one of the chonkiest, most delicious toys that I've picked up for a long time. I forget that Ironhide was a big deal in Energon, and this really is just the most pure expression of pure joyous chunk. So cheers to the Thew gang. Apparently my video helped. It's nice to get direct feedback about that. But apparently they made about £20,000. I had to skip the closing ceremony because of trains and whatnot. But we love to hear that they succeeded. £20,000 from like 2 days trading. That is lunacy. Madness. And I'm delighted to have both helped raise hype and have paid in directly myself. I bought Ironhide and Universe Treadbolt, the Classics Jetfire repaint, which after buying it, I got a bit spooked because I'm not sure if it suffers from browny goldy plastic degradation, because it's like not gold, but it's It's getting there, so I'm not sure if we're gonna have trouble further down the line. But for now, very happy to own a version of this toy again. I've got enough Jetfires. Siege Jetfire is plenty for me. So Treadbolt, more than happy to own this thing. 30 quid, straight in Toy Foo's pocket. Absolutely delighted. Knockoff Bomb Shock. Yeah, this was the same lads who gave me the egg thing. Like butterscotch coloured with 2 tiny little turrets rather than 1 big one. Thanks. And my final and possibly most gratifying pickup of the weekend. Been meaning to finish this little subset for a long time. Throttlebots, Wide Load, and Chase, and Freeway. 3 little chubs all in a row. Very happy to grab those right at the end of the weekend. They were like a tenner each. And they're in great shape. Bought these from the fella on the corner. I forget what his stand was called. But he's always there with like glass cases of GoBots and so on. It's actually very satisfying to have these lads. Because I've only ever had Rollbar and Goldbug, which are the 2 standouts from this line, I reckon. And I thought Wide Load was daft. I didn't want that. And the rest are just generic cars. Who cares? Turns out I care. They're lovely. They are little silly motorized gimmick-led generic car things. But what's wrong with that? They're brilliant. Freeway in particular, gorgeous. Look at this. Just totally simple. They all do the same thing, but that's delightful. Look at that. It's a little blue car. Love it. Somehow, Freeway has shot up in my estimation and is now one of my favorite Autobots. Little sky blue fella. Nothing really going on. So happy to have got these. Didn't get Searchlight though. I got 3 out of the 4 Throttlebots I needed, which is nice because it's a nice gratifying haul. It really fills out the line and it leaves me somewhere to go. The quest continues. So that's the ideal outcome for me. Anyway, I think that's everything. I think that about wraps us up for another year for TFNation. What a weekend. What a feeling. What an experience. So just thank you to everybody who I spoke to, everyone I said hello to, like old friends, existing pals, new friends, folks who just recognized me off the internet or wanted to say hello. It's wonderful. So happy. So happy to have been part of this. Should we do it again? Anytime, any excuse to hang with one or all of you lot, honestly. Let's do it, man. Let's hook it up. So, TFNation 2022 was an absolute blast. Thank you so much again to the team. Billy, Dave, everyone behind the scenes, all the guests, everybody. So please do check out ARG My Optics. I'll find the link. Refined Robot Co. Wonderful. And everybody else I've mentioned. That this is too much to do all at once. Wonderful to meet everybody. TFNation. Nothing quite like it. Center of my universe. And long may it continue. Love you all. Signing out. Alright, has there been enough thanking and saying love you in this video? Let's do one more. Big thanks to all the patrons who allow me to continue doing what I do, and especially Soup63, S-O-U-P, and a 6 and a 3. Thank you, mate. Take it easy, baby.
Be sure to subscribe for more Thew's Awesome Transformers reviews. Limited appeal, keeping it real.